Time now for the Hardball Roundtable tonight. April Ryan's White House correspondent for American Urban Radio Networks. John Stanton is Washington bureau chief of BuzzFeed, and Carrie Sheffield is columnist for Forbes and a senior writer for Opportunity Lives. You know, I thought there's a couple of interesting things. First of all, they did the CYA there, the Jeb and his brother. But basically, the big story here is in John Meacham's new book. It's coming out now from Random, where the old man, former president, has basically come out and said, you know, these guys blew it. Cheney was a hawk. He took us into a stupid war. And even Jeb there was saying he was operating from the mindset of 9/11. He's sort of justifying a bad decision.
Well, you know, Daddy Bush was right. I was there all 8 years of George W. Bush. His closest supporters, his closest advisors at that time, Condi Rice, Margaret Spellings, who is still his closest people, there was a fractured relationship, particularly during the time with Iraq, and then also particularly with Scooter Libby, with Valerie Plame, and also with the gay marriage issue. So there was a fracture, there was a breaking off of sorts. But
what were the two sides?
Yeah, it was George W. Bush against Cheney and Rumsfeld on issues of Iraq. I mean, you had Colin Powell at the time.
Why didn't they break earlier so we wouldn't have gone to Iraq?
George W. Bush is very loyal. He's a loyal...
No, I'm worried about why we went to Iraq, and Cheney had a lot to do with it.
WMD, weapons of mass destruction that were never found, and... okay, we were going on intelligence that was faulty. So Cheney kept talking about this WMD. But George W. Bush now looks like...
Which was used at the time, and they said so as a way to get the Europeans to join us. It wasn't the reason we went into Iraq.
Exactly.
They used it as an argument.
And they also they took that and used the emotion of 9/11 and went on with that.
It's amazing the old man is talking.
It's amazing. It's not surprising what he's saying.
We all knew what he thought. He's now saying it.
I mean, I think if you look at his administration, he was clearly a very different kind of a person. I mean, he's much more of a old school, you know, Republican, like
he was a realist.
Republican. Yeah, like an old line guy. So the fact that he believes this, I don't think is shocking. The fact that he's doing it now is a little bit surprising, I guess, you know, given the timing of the book.
Why do you think he's doing it?
I think a little bit is that, you know, he's looking at his legacy a little bit, but I also do think that he's trying to do things that his son, that Jeb, can't do. Jeb can't go out and attack his brother. That would not be a good look for him. I mean, he's in a bad spot no matter what. No matter what he says about George. Jim Baker,
Brett Scowcroft, the general, the former president, George Herbert Walker Bush, all thought it was a bad idea to go into Iraq. Now they're saying so.
Well, there are a lot of Democrats in Congress that thought it was a good idea as well. So we
Did they say it was a good idea? They went along with it. They went along with it.
I mean, if they went along with it by voting for it, by ergo, they thought it was a good idea.
So what's your point?
The point is that, you know, it's it's all hindsight. Everything is hindsight at this point. And he's 91 years old.
Many of us were highly skeptical of the reason we went into that war. A lot of us didn't believe it had anything to do with WMD. We thought it was neoconservative ideology, and it was geopolitical ideology in the Mideast. These people wanted to go after one country after another. They started with Iraq. They wanted to go on to Iran. They wanted to do Libya, the rest of them. That was their plan.
Hey, I opposed it as a BYU student, which was not a very popular position at Brigham Young University, let me tell you. But at the same time, it is true, like you said, that it has been very public that it was two very different takes in terms of HW versus W. That's not a secret, so I don't actually think...
So why do you think the father's talking?
I think, yes, it could be to say that, yes, our family, we are independent. This is what Jeb has been saying all the time. I am my own man. This is illustrative of that. H.W. Bush was his own man. W is his own man. Jeb would be his own man.
Well, here's how Bush 41 described how Dick Cheney changed in his son's administration. He just became very hard line. This is the old man talking. And very different from the Dick Cheney I knew and worked with. Just hard ass. His seeming knuckling under to the real hard-charging guys who want to fight about everything. Use force to get our way in the Middle East. That's how he describes neoconservatives. And here's Cheney, how Cheney reacted to that today on Fox.
We smile about it. We laugh about it. Same with my daughter, with Liz. But my family was not conspiring to somehow turn me into a tougher, more hard-nosed individual. I got there all by myself.
And here's what Cheney told Fox about former President Bush 41's comment that Cheney is, quote, an iron ass.
I took it as a mark of pride.
Yeah, and over 100,000 people are dead because of that mark of pride. It's not something to chuck about, Mr. Vice President. Anyway, Donald Rumsfeld was more harsh in his statement released by his office today. Quote, Bush 41 is getting on in years. This is the charming Donald Rumsfeld, and misjudges Bush 43, who I found made his own decisions. What do you make of that, John?
I think it's interesting, actually, that Cheney is basically acknowledging that he did change from when he worked for the first Bush to the second Bush. I think that's Donald Rumsfeld as finest Donald Rumsfeld, right? I mean, he's never been a guy that takes criticism very well and has never been shy of basically being sort of nasty to people who criticize him.
So where's Jeb? between the old man and the kid, between him and his brother? Is he a hawk? Is he a realist who's not a hawk? Is he enamored of the neocons?
I think Jeb is trying to find. I
think therein lies the problem, is that he has not articulated a strong vision of what he would do.
He put Wolfowitz on his team, though, which is kind of an interesting thing.
And he's also looked so back at his record as governor, which is not a foreign policy record. So we don't actually know what he would do going forward, which is why he's losing, why the auction...
Yeah, I think you pointed to the problem he has. He can't make a decision between his father and his brother.
And Jeb right now is going through this metamorphosis, trying to have a renaissance for himself. So we don't know, and he doesn't even know where he stands. So his father is giving him cover right now. He's got to figure it out very soon.
Yeah, Roger Mudd once asked the question of Ted Kennedy, why are you running for president? It's a good place to start. Answering that question yourself. Anyway, the roundtable's sticking with me.